Hi guys, today is day 9. I want to take a quick second and say happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Today you are going to end up seeing the inside of my house, so I apologize, it is a little bit messy, but I am full-blown meal prepping right now. And since our topic today is nutrition, I wanted to show you some of the things that I make for my dad and I. So let's get right to it. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Victoria. I'm 27 years old and I was diagnosed with Fibro at the age of 20 and I've had it since I was 12 or 13. The foods I'm going to show you today are just some of the ones that we meal prep throughout the week. My food actually doesn't need to be meal prepped. I'm a vegetarian. So I do actually eat meat every once in a while. I do it more for health reasons because I do come from a family of hunters. So sometimes you just eat meat when you want to. But I want to show you guys some different foods that I eat because once I started eating vegetarian and once I started making these recipes for my dad and I, we both actually saw quite a bit of difference in the change of health. So the first thing I'm going to do is just show you what I've been making, and then we're going to talk about some foods that are good for patients that have fibromyalgia or anyone that has chronic pain or is prone to inflammation. So I'm going to show you some foods that can eliminate that. One of my dad's favorite dishes is this mix that I get from Jewel Osco. It's actually pre-cut, so it's easier. I used to hand cut all of these ingredients, but it is asparagus, onions, and mushrooms. You can throw it in a frying pan, heat it up, put a little bit of butter in the bottom, let it get heated, throw the veggies in, then throw about a cup's worth of water on top of it, cover it to steam, and it steams in about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how soft that you like the asparagus. This next easy dish is just egg beater cups. So they're like the egg bites you get from Starbucks, except I think these taste a little bit better. So I do a whole thing of egg beaters, and then I add peppers, onions, bacon, salt, pepper, garlic. Mix it all up in a bowl, and then fill the pan to the top. Bake it at 425 for about 15 minutes. You want to check it at minute 10. And there you go, you got egg bites. The great thing about the egg bites is that you can put whatever you want in them, and 2 of them is a serving. So you could do a veggie one with just mushrooms and peppers and onions. You could throw some spinach in there and add some tomato. You can literally do anything. All you need is 1 container of egg beaters or premixed eggs. I know depending on where you're at, they're called different things. So I personally just have the Meyer brand. I get a whole container of them. So the last thing, which is one of my dad's staples, not mine, is ground turkey. So ground turkey is low in fat and high in protein. Turkey tenderloins are the best, but him and I are not a huge fan because when you meal prep it, it does get dry. But we throw in some tri-colored peppers, some onions, and then some different seasonings, however we like it. Sometimes I do rosemary, and sometimes I do others. These meal preps usually go anywhere from 5 to 7 meals. It just depends on how much we divide them up for him. But they are great to make, easy to make too. I think I spend maybe an hour making everything from top to bottom. Today it'll probably only be 45 minutes because I found a new system. But I do add potatoes to his meals because he does need some carbs and does not eat a lot of starches to begin with. So throwing in some potatoes just adds a little bit more flavor. He can mix it with the ground turkey and other options. And since I bring up options, let's talk about some different foods that you can incorporate to your diet and take out. So a lot of us with Fibro have come to the terms that we are very, very sensitive to sugar, we are sensitive to caffeine, and we are sensitive to fried foods. In a normal person's diet, for at least healthy eating, I honestly hate the word diet, but even when you're eating healthy, those are foods we normally don't incorporate. They're usually what we like to call cheat days, which of course are my favorite because I eat ice cream on my cheat day. So they have also found that when you have a lot of sugar in your diet or a lot of starches and a lot of fried foods, it causes inflammation. It also, even in a normal person's body, isn't good. It slows the metabolism down, and when the metabolism can't burn everything off, then it turns into body fat. And that's one of the things with sugar is if you have too much sugar in your diet or too many starches in your diet, your body will literally convert it to sugar, and then it turns into body fat. So, and that's why a lot of people will say, oh, watch your carbs, watch your carbs. Yes, definitely watch your carbs, but watch where they're coming from. Don't just look at that carb count. Look at where those carbs are coming from. I eat about 200 carbs a day, but only about 60 of them are from starches. The rest are from vegetables. I think one of my favorite terms that a former nutritionist and I had come up with, since there was supposed to be a nutritionist with us today, but unfortunately she could not be here, that we use the term happy foods. So happy foods are anything that make your body happy, like fruits, vegetables, healthy meats like ground turkey or very lean beefs. And then also, of course, some of my favorite happy foods, Greek yogurt, protein yogurt. Oikos just came out with a brand new brand called Oikos Pro, and it's got 20 grams of protein, only 3 grams of fat, and 8 carbs. So it's not bad at all. You're getting your carbs from a very high protein source, in my opinion. And what these happy foods do is they fuel the body. So their whole job is to fuel the body and make you feel better. So you have to watch too, which is why I always tell everybody that asks me, well, how are you losing weight? How are you eating? Well, I just eat organic and I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. Like, that's my key. I don't eat a lot of junk food. So in turn, I'm turning what I used to like in junk foods into healthy foods. So if I'm craving sweets, I'm using fruits like berries. So blackberries and raspberries are my go-to. They're very, very sweet. If I'm craving salt, I'll put a little salt on my vegetables, or I will cook zucchini into zucchini chips. So let's talk about some of the foods that are in my diet that I eat specifically for the sole purpose of eliminating inflammation. And yes, I'm not a huge fan of one of these. Let's see if you can guess which one. So tomatoes and fruits both help fight inflammation. You can also incorporate leafy greens, which you should be eating every single day, if not with almost every meal. They're a great source of vitamins. So like, I don't know, collard greens or spinach and lettuce, they're fantastic. Other things that fight inflammation would be nuts or olive oil. And then fatty fish, they're great sources to have in your body, not even to mention the omegas that are in those, because your body needs those every day to help with muscle, help with overall body function and brain function. And all those things I listed, guys, also help with brain fog. So you get a lot of brain fog when you don't have enough omegas and fats in your diet. You do need a little bit of fat in your diet. You can get it from peanut butter. I don't recommend that as just a fat source. You can get it from fish, you can get it from nuts, but all of those have healthy protein sources. And I noticed when I went back through and looked at what I was eating, because I track what I eat, I noticed I wasn't eating like I used to. So as soon as I started incorporating those back into my diet over the weekend, I noticed a huge difference. I was more alert, more awake, I could think clearer. It was crazy. It's so weird to think about how much even your diet can affect just how your brain functions. One thing I want to talk about too is a lot of people had asked about keto diet, gluten-free, low-calorie diets, cleanses. Guys, let me tell you, don't do any of that. Just stop where you're at for a second and let me tell you why. I'm not saying don't do it for the future, but I'm going to tell you why not to do it right this second. If you guys are still trying to figure out how to build your diet, first I'm going to recommend a nutritionist that knows what they're talking about. So one that has done nutrition for a very long time, one that has worked with fibromyalgia patients, and one that understands chronic pain to the best of their ability. Not everybody's going to understand chronic pain. And those types of people are usually medical nutritionists because they've worked with all these. So once you see in the hospital, so let's say you had a heart attack, you went to the hospital, they give you a list of foods that you should be eating and shouldn't be eating. Those are the types of people that formulate these types of diets for us. Well, I've got one to recommend for you if you need a recommendation. But you need one of those first. And the other thing you need to do for 2 weeks, just 2 weeks, is either download the Fitbit app, MyFitnessPal, use the Apple tools, is to track what you're eating right now before you make any drastic changes. Track what you're eating, see what you're putting in your body, and there's no shame in it. The first time I ever tracked what I eat, I think I had a cupcake for breakfast the one day. Let's be real. When you're trying to figure out how to eat healthy, it takes a little bit to figure it out. And that's why you should track what you eat. Not only does tracking what you eat help you, but it also helps the nutritionist that you will have. Because I highly recommend getting one for at least 3 to 6 months. It was a huge game changer for me. After that, that's when you can start changing your diet. So I don't like the word diet. I don't even know why I keep saying it, but what you consume and the foods you eat. So let's start with gluten-free. I have tried gluten-free. I personally have not seen any change. I wasn't a fan of it. It was really hard at that time for you to even get gluten-free products, but I didn't have celiacs. So I didn't see a big difference. So I recommend that if you are looking at going gluten-free, that you go talk with your doctors and a nutritionist and ask what the benefits on your body would be. Get tested to see if you have celiacs. That way you know if it is going to be a big thing for your body. And yes, I know that gluten can cause inflammation through the body, or at least that's what doctors believe. So if that's something you want to try, it's not going to be super detrimental. So if it's something that you think will really help you, by all means, give it a shot. But the one diet I'm going to tell you not to try is keto. And here's why. So keto is the latest craze on diets right now. Latest craze. And what it is low carb and high fat. Well, the low carb aspect isn't necessarily a bad thing, but you're going to feel like crud for a couple weeks because you're not putting any starch in your body. Your carbs come strictly from your vegetables. So you're not getting any starches in your body, which I need at least starches as breakfast, and that's usually where I eat my starch for the day. But that high fat content, that is going to bite you in the butt later in life. So if you have heart disease or heart conditions or anything that deals with the heart or the liver or fatty liver in your family, you're going to cause yourself a lot of issues down the road. Keto is not self-sustainable. It's not sustainable for long periods of time. And yes, there are some medical conditions where it is a good thing. Like if you're a diabetic, you have to watch your carbs and sugar. And for those of you wanting to do keto for weight loss, lost 10 pounds. Didn't lose any more. It was the worst decision I ever made for my health because honestly, through those 2.5 months that I did it, I felt like crud. I didn't feel good. I didn't like how my body felt. I had no energy. It was awful. I did not like it. All the weight that you're losing during that time is just all water weight. You're not losing a lot of body fat. You're really not. And yes, I do know people that have lost a ton of weight on keto. But the thing is, they're like 19 and 20 years old. And yes, I know people can lose weight on it, but don't do it for long periods of time. If you want to eat healthy, make your main carb source your vegetables. Eat lean, clean, healthy meats like ground turkey or turkey tenderloins. And then get your fats from healthy sources like fish and nuts and berries. Do those types of things. The cleaner you eat, the better it is for your body. Even if you don't have fibro or chronic fatigue or any condition that causes inflammation, when you eat clean, your body's gonna thank you. Yes, it will thank you. I can't tell you how much energy you're gonna have just by eating clean. Drinking water is so important, guys, so important. Your body needs it. And no, coffee doesn't count as water. I know, I was sad too, don't worry. I'm sorry I had to break that news to most of you. I'm so sorry. But you've got to drink a lot of water. I recommend at least half a gallon a day at the minimum. Your body needs a certain amount of water to even function, and so does your brain. So when you don't get enough water in your body, that's where brain fog will kick in, and it'll be worse than it normally is. There's also a book that I found super helpful. It's got a ton of recipes. You can get it right on Amazon. Don't know if there's a Kindle version, but I recommend just ordering the actual book itself because it does have a recipe book in the back, and it's called Cleanse to Heal. So it's got a lot of great tips like juicing and the celery juice and the benefits of it. I think it does go over mint water if I remember correctly. And then it gives you a bunch of recipes in the back. And the recipes are amazing because the cool thing about this book is it talks about eating healthy. It talks about foods that are great for your body depending on your medical condition. It is my go-to book whenever anybody's looking for healthy recipes. The book even has this awesome supplement thing in the back of things that you can take throughout the day to help with your fibromyalgia. Like, look at these different recipes it has in here, different smoothies and teas. And then it's got different vegetables. Hey, that's what I just made, and that's what I'm making later. Like, there's so many cool things that you can do in here. Like Brussels sprout recipes and soups that you can eat. And I'm going to be the first to say right now that yes, your diet is not the cure-all to fibromyalgia. But wouldn't it be crazy if you could change just one thing that you eat and just swap a few things out and it not even affect the cost of your groceries? And boom, you actually are starting to feel better. Let me tell you, it works. eating clean, eating a lot of protein, drinking so much water throughout the day that you're in the bathroom every half hour. I'm not even kidding. I remember my boss asking me if I was pregnant when I first started. That was fun because I peed every half hour. But it is so worth it, guys. So worth it. So worth it. And yes, we are going to have a day where we talk about supplements. That was one of the #1 requested topics that I talk about because I am a supplement junkie. I love taking supplements that help my body. All right, guys, I have a couple takeaways for you right now. And this is just a little quick outline of the video. And it would be 1, swap out those inflammatory foods with anti-inflammatory foods that we talked about. 2, look into a nutritionist. They can help you. They'll help you change. I promise. They're so worth the investment. You're investing in your health at that point. 3, drink enough water. Always drink water with, like, every 10 minutes, just drink water. Make sure, too, that you are eating enough. Don't starve your body with those 1,200 calorie diets. I don't want to see it. It's not worth it. You're not doing anything for yourself. All right, guys. Tomorrow we're going to talk about natural remedies. I'm going to show you some of my favorite ones. And I'm also going to tell you about one of my favorite CBD companies on the planet. And I also have a coupon for you guys since I talked to them and let them know I was doing this video for you. No, it is not so I can get money. It is just a coupon because this company strongly believes that the product they sell can help you with fibro. So we're going to talk about a lot of different things. I am also going to do a video this week exclusively on THC. So I had a lot of very divided feedback, so I'm not going to include that one tomorrow, and natural remedies. But I will be doing a video this week on THC, the benefits, and how it helps fibro patients. I hope you guys have an awesome Mother's Day. Hope you guys have a great last day of the weekend, and I will see you guys on Monday.